You have been underestimated. You have been silenced. You have been told what to do, how to think, how to feel, like you needed permission to live your own life. But today, that ends. Nobody and nothing will control you again, because control only works when you hand over your power, and you are done giving it away. People will try to manipulate you. They will play with your emotions. They will use fear, guilt, shame, and even love to keep you small. But listen closely. When you stop reacting to every word, every demand, every opinion, they lose. You win. Control is a game. The rules are simple. If they can trigger you, they own you. If they can silence you, they erase you. If they can guilt you, they chain you. So what do? You break the game. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve your energy. Silence becomes your armor. Boundaries become your weapon. And self-respect your crown. Nobody gets to pull your strings anymore. Not your past. Not toxic people. Not your doubts. Not your fears. You are not here to live at the mercy of someone else's control. You are here to stand tall, walk free, and own every decision, every choice, every breath you take. So from this moment forward, remember, the strongest version of you is the one who cannot be controlled. Because when you stop being controlled, you finally start being unstoppable. Nobody and nothing will control you again. Control ends where self-respect begins. The truth is, for far too long, many of us have been conditioned to believe that control from others is normal, that it is part of love, part of respect, or even part of success. We have been told that bending ourselves, minimizing ourselves, or handing over our decisions somehow makes us good, loyal, or worthy. But what actually happens when you let others control you? You shrink. You silence your voice. You carry the weight of choices that aren't even yours, and you live a life that doesn't belong to you. The moment you draw the line, the moment you say enough, something shifts. It is not about rebellion, anger, or revenge. It is about reclaiming what was always yours, your right to decide who you are and how you live. That's where self-respect begins. Self-respect is not just a word. It's a code you live by. It's waking up and refusing to let your worth be dictated by someone else's mood, opinion, or judgment. It's standing firmly in your values, even when others try to move you like a pawn on their board. When you carry self-respect, the manipulator cannot guilt you because you know your intentions. They cannot shame you because you refuse to bow down to their version of truth. They cannot control you because the one thing they need from you, your permission, is no longer given. Control requires consent, and self-respect takes that consent away. Think about it. The people who try to control you thrive on your reaction. They thrive on you needing them, proving yourself to them, or explaining yourself to them. Without that, they have nothing. Self-respect is the moment you stop justifying yourself for living the way you choose. It is the moment you stop begging people to understand you. It is the moment you say, I don't need your validation because I already know my value. Control and self-respect cannot exist in the same place. When you let others dictate your actions, you tell yourself that their opinion weighs more than your own. But when you choose self-respect, you send a clear message. You no longer live as a reflection of someone else's control. You become your own standard. That doesn't mean you shut out the world, or that you never listen to advice, or that you turn cold. It means you are no longer bendable just to keep the peace, just to please others, or just to avoid conflict. There is strength in knowing you cannot be moved by pressure, manipulation, or the endless need for approval. That strength does not come from fighting harder against people who want control. It comes from refusing to step into the arena at all. The one who respects themselves does not waste time playing games they cannot win. They simply walk away because self-respect tells them, you don't belong here, your energy is too valuable, your peace is too expensive. Self-respect is also quiet. It does not need to scream. It does not need to prove itself. The one who respects themselves doesn't argue with lies because they know the truth. They don't defend every choice because they don't owe explanations to those who are determined not to understand. They know that peace is not found in convincing others. It is found in standing firm. Control always breaks when it meets a person who respects themselves. That is why those who thrive on power and manipulation target the ones who doubt themselves, the ones who need constant approval, the ones who fear rejection. But when you respect yourself, rejection no longer scares you. You know that losing people who try to control you is not loss. It is liberation. You understand that your worth is not up for debate. You see clearly that peace of mind is worth more than approval. Every time you choose self-respect, you remove another chain. You stop running in circles to keep others happy. You stop waiting for permission to live your truth. You stop carrying the guilt that never belonged to you. Control fades when it has nothing to hold on to, and self-respect leaves it with nothing. There is a freedom that comes when you live this way, the freedom of making decisions without waiting for permission, the freedom of speaking without fear of who will be displeased, the freedom of walking away from those who drain you instead of apologizing for needing space. Control has no power over someone who respects themselves. That freedom is not given, it is claimed, and it is claimed the moment you realize that your worth cannot be increased or decreased by anyone else's approval. Once you taste that freedom, you will never want to go back. You will realize that the cost of being controlled was far greater than the cost of standing on your own. You will realize that pleasing others at the expense of yourself was not kindness. It was surrender. You will realize that the life you are meant to live is not built by the hands of others, but by your own choices, guided by your own values. Control ends where self-respect begins, because the only permission you need to live your life fully is your own. Self-respect closes the door to manipulation, silences the voices that demand your obedience, and erases the illusion that anyone else is in charge of you. Your silence is not weakness, it's power. The world often teaches you that silence means surrender, that if you are not speaking, if you are not defending yourself, if you are not reacting, then somehow you are losing. But the truth is the opposite. Silence, when chosen, is not submission, it is strength. It is a choice that says, I do not need to explain myself. I do not need to fight for space. I do not need to waste my energy on noise. Silence is restraint, and restraint is power. Weakness shouts because it feels unheard. Weakness reacts because it feels threatened. Weakness needs constant validation because it does not know its own worth. But silence is confidence. Silence is the unshakable, knowing that you do not need to answer every insult, respond to every provocation, or participate in every battle. Silence is control over yourself, and that is the highest form of power. People will try to push you, to bait you, to pull you into their chaos. They will throw words designed to wound, designed to make you prove yourself, designed to trigger your emotions so they can own your reaction. And if you fall into that trap, if you rise to every insult, if you explain yourself every time someone questions you, you are not in control. They are. Your energy is theirs. Your peace is theirs. Your mind is theirs. But when you remain silent, when you do not give them the reaction they crave, you break the chain. They no longer hold the strings. Your silence tells them, you do not have the power to move me. Silence is not passive. It is active. It is deliberate. It is the choice to protect your energy, to keep your emotions yours, to keep your dignity intact. Anyone can scream. Anyone can argue. Anyone can throw words into the fire, but it takes strength to stay still, to stay grounded, to stay quiet when you could easily be pulled into the storm. Silence does not mean you do not see what is happening. It means you see it so clearly that you refuse to participate in it. And silence, in the right moments, is louder than any words you could speak. When you do not respond, people notice. When you do not argue, when you do not defend, when you simply carry yourself with calm, it unsettles those who expected chaos from you. They are forced to face their own noise without your participation. They are forced to sit in the discomfort of not being able to provoke you. That is power. But silence is not about staying quiet in every situation. It is about knowing when to speak and when not to. It is about discernment. It is about recognizing that not every attack deserves an answer. Not every lie deserves correction. Not every person deserves your voice. Silence is not weakness when it is chosen with wisdom. It is a strategy. It is knowing that sometimes the most powerful response is none at all. Your silence can never be controlled because it belongs only to you. No one can twist it. No one can manipulate it. No one can use it against you unless you let them. Words can be misquoted. Arguments can be twisted. Explanations can be thrown back at you. But silence cannot be used. Silence cannot be distorted. Silence is yours, untouchable, unshakable. That is why silence is feared by those who seek control. They want your reaction because your reaction fuels them. They want your anger because your anger feeds them. They want your words because your words give them something to attack. Silence denies them all of that. Silence leaves them powerless. They cannot fight against it because there is nothing to fight. They cannot win against it because you have not entered the battle. Silence also speaks to you. When you choose silence, you hear yourself more clearly. You notice your thoughts, your intuition, your strength. You see where your boundaries are, where your limits are, where your values stand. Silence clears away the noise of the world so you can hear your own voice. And when you can hear yourself, you no longer live at the mercy of other people's voices. That is freedom. Some will misunderstand your silence. They will think it means weakness. They will think it means you are afraid or unsure or defeated. Let them think that. Their misunderstanding is not your concern. You do not need to prove to them that your silence is power, because true power never needs proof. Those who are wise will see it. Those who are blind will miss it. Either way, it does not change what your silence means. To be silent when you could explode, to be calm when you could retaliate, to be composed when you could defend yourself endlessly, this is not weakness. This is control. This is mastery over yourself, and the one who masters themselves cannot be mastered by anyone else. Your silence shows that you are not at the mercy of your emotions, not at the mercy of your triggers, not at the mercy of those who want to control you. Your silence is your shield, your fortress, your strength. And remember, silence is not emptiness. It is not a void. It is filled with your choice, your decision, your power. Every moment you choose silence, you are reminding yourself, I decide where my energy goes. I decide who gets my words. I decide who gets my reaction, no one else. Boundaries are freedom. Every time you draw a line, you are not shutting people out. You are setting yourself free. Too often we are told that saying yes makes us kind, agreeable, and worthy of love. We are told that refusing, declining, or protecting our space makes us selfish or cold. But the truth is, without boundaries, there is no peace. Without boundaries, there is no respect. Without boundaries, there is no freedom. A life without boundaries belongs to everyone else but you. Your time becomes theirs. Your energy becomes theirs. Your decisions become theirs. You find yourself running on empty, stretched thin, exhausted, and resentful because you have given so much of yourself away that nothing is left. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you. They are doors meant to protect you. They say, this is where I end, and you begin. They say, you can come this far, but not further. They say, I will give, but I will not be drained. Freedom begins with the word no. Every time you say no to something that violates your peace, you are saying yes to yourself. Every time you refuse to let someone walk over you, you reclaim the ground beneath your feet. Every time you enforce a boundary, you remind yourself that your life belongs to you, not to those who demand pieces of it without giving anything back. Boundaries are not about keeping people away. They are about keeping yourself intact. People who fear losing control will always resist your boundaries. They will call you difficult. They will call you unkind. They will call you selfish. But their reaction is not a reflection of you. It is proof that your boundaries are working. Boundaries reveal who respects you and who only seeks to use you. The ones who care for you will honor your lines. The ones who want to control you will fight against them. Boundaries are the filter that separates the two. Boundaries are not built out of anger. They are built out of self-respect. You do not set limits because you hate people. You set limits because you love yourself. You are not cutting people off to punish them. You are protecting your energy so you can give where it truly matters. You are not closing doors to the world. You are choosing which doors stay open because not everyone deserves access to you. That choice is what keeps you free. Freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Freedom is having the strength to protect your space from what harms you, distracts you, or controls you. Boundaries create that strength. They give you clarity on what you will tolerate and what you will never allow. They give you permission to step away from those who drain you without guilt. They give you the courage to prioritize your own well-being without apology. Without boundaries, relationships become cages. Work becomes exploitation. Family becomes obligation instead of love. Boundaries transform all of that. They allow relationships to be built on respect, not control. They allow work to be balanced with dignity, not exhaustion. They allow family to be cherished with love, not resented with bitterness. Boundaries protect everything meaningful because they strip away what is toxic and leave only what is real. The moment you enforce a boundary, you discover something powerful. You cannot be controlled. People may try to push you, guilt you, or shame you into submission. They may accuse you of being cold, distant, or uncaring, but the one who honors their own boundaries is not shaken by accusations. They know that people who truly love and respect them will adapt, adjust, and honor the space given. Boundaries are not the end of connection. They are the beginning of genuine connection. Freedom comes when you realize you do not need to explain every boundary. You do not need to defend every no. You do not need to justify protecting yourself. Your boundaries are not up for debate. They are not requests. They are decisions. And when you learn to stand behind them with confidence, you discover the liberation of living life on your terms. Every time you draw a line, you are telling the world who you are and what you stand for. You are saying, this is how I expect to be treated. You are saying, I refuse to settle for less than respect. You are saying, I choose peace over chaos. And in doing so, you open the door to a life where you are free to love fully, work with purpose, and live without being drained by those who would take more than they ever give. Boundaries do not imprison you. They protect you. They are not chains. They are shields. They are not a sign of weakness. They are proof of strength. It takes courage to draw them. It takes strength to enforce them. And it takes self-respect to live by them. But once you do, you will understand that true freedom is not found in pleasing everyone else. True freedom is found in honoring yourself first.